Let's have a reasonable conversation.
You're an idiot. That's why you got all the cameras around you, because you know you're a fucking target.
Pull over. Let's have a reasonable conversation.
Let's. I don't have the patience for your stupid shit.
Why are you being so hostile?
You're a fucking asshole. That's why.
I said let's have a.
Stay the fuck away from me. Stay away from the cops.
Have a good day, sir. God bless.
Here again.
Hey. See, and this is what I'm talking about. This is not how we should be representing us. This is not how you act. Let him.
It just pisses him off.
Like I was literally willing to. I was literally willing to have a conversation with him.
Somebody needs to get his license plate number so they can.
They're watching. Don't worry. They're all over it. Trust me. It's the way the guy up by the sidewalk is standing. Hey.
Take a walk.
Hey. You can be upset, but you don't have a right to do this to traffic and to people. Come on, man. There's no reason for you to be acting like this towards people. Nobody has hurt you, man. Nobody.
Why? What is your fucking problem that you don't? That this is a joke. This coronavirus.
Why do you think we think this is a joke? Why don't you pull over? I'll have a civil conversation with you.
Right here.
Because there's no need for us to be blocking traffic.
No need to call my name.
A little bit further. A little bit more.
Hey, nobody thinks this is a joke, man.
Well, then what are you doing?
Huh?
Why would you go against everything that is being told? Why would you?
Scared. Freedom over fear.
Let me ask you a question. I heard you say something about having done your time too. Did you serve in the military?
Yes.
Okay. Who'd you serve with?
The Army.
Okay. Who'd you serve with? How long were you in? What unit were
4
you
years. My unit was in Hutchinson. I was in the Guard.
All right. What oath did you take when you joined the military?
What do you mean?
What oath?
The oath?
What oath did you take? I'm Todd. What's your name?
Brody.
Okay, Brody. What oath did you take when you served your country? When you joined the military?
Yeah. What does that have to do with anything?
Because I'm going somewhere with this, Brody.
Okay.
Okay. You took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States,
okay,
and to defend the United States, the nation, from enemies both foreign and domestic. Okay. Correct? When you take an oath to defend the Constitution,
that's
Brody.
The creed, not the oath.
No, it's the oath. It's the oath. You take an oath of office. You take an oath of. You take an oath of office, Brody. And you know what? I took that same oath. I was with the 82nd Airborne Division for several years. Probably a while before you served.
What are you getting at?
So
what is this? What does this accomplish?
The point is that the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States grants us, the people of the United States, we the people.
There's still limitations.
No, there aren't. There are no limitations.
You can't call 911 and say that building's on fire. That's illegal.
No, it's not.
You can't have the freedom of speech, but you can't call and say that building's on fire. That's illegal.
The First Amendment of the United States cannot be infringed upon by any governing authority. It can't be.
Okay, so
neither can the Second Amendment.
So you're just out here to test the waters?
No, we're out here because the current governing authorities are treading all over the constitutional rights of the people. That's what they're doing, and you don't have to like that we're saying that.
Has anyone personally, been affected by
this? Yeah, a lot of people. A lot of people.
No, I know.
A lot of people.
I wasn't asking that.
So Brody,
but I'm saying, but that doesn't change your.
So Brody, does any?
Keep it. No, it's just.
Brody, the reason that we're out here is because it's not just the virus that's affecting people. There are people, it's the people who are not only losing their livelihood, not only losing their income, Brody, there are people who are losing everything they've ever worked hard for. Everything. I have friends who have lost their jobs, who now don't know whether or not they're going to ever be able to get anything again.
But don't think it's something that's going to be like forever. I mean, you just ride. I mean, just ride it out.
But that's not how it works.
The numbers, dude. For example, the numbers.
But Brody, that's not how this works. Once somebody in power takes to themselves power that they don't have, that they're not allowed to take by the Constitution, they never give it back, ever.
You know.
We are go for liftoff in T-minus 30. Stand by for further instructions, Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. Secondary guidance systems engaged. Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, it will be on my mark. All systems are a go. All systems are a go. Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, you are over the target. You are authorized to fire at will.
Hey, welcome. Year freaking 6. Can you year 6? I was emotional watching that because I knew I knew where I was going to stop in that conversation. That was from the very first day of this channel, for the very first day of this platform. Skipper's waiting in the wings, and I'm going to make him wait. I'm going to see how much patience Marines really have, because he threatened to bring his drama to my drama. And you know what happens when you get your drama and my drama? You end up with Reese's peanut butter cup or something. I don't know. But that was from day one. And that's who I've been the entire time. The person that you saw or heard in that video, that body cam video, it's a GoPro. The person that you heard talking to an angry fellow veteran who thought we should all be staying home and shutting our mouths and not complaining and not protesting and not demonstrating against lockdowns in 2020. That was me then. That's me now. I'm a lot of things, folks. I'm a lot of things. I'm not smart. I'm not an intellectual. I'm not a philosopher. I love to write, so I'm a writer. And I would encourage you to go read my essay that dropped this morning at 9 o'clock from my Substack about what the last 6 years have been like. But I am lots of things. But I'm not a hypocrite. And this last This last 6 years has been just, excuse the language. It's been a bitch. I've made a lot of friends, people who have consistently been there through the hellfire, who have been, concerned for me, worried for me, been angry at me. They've put me in check. They've called to reach out when they haven't heard from me for a while because, well, most of them know, they know how I am. And I've learned a lot about society and culture, and I've learned a lot about what friendship is. And I've learned a lot about empty promises. Surprisingly, not just from politicians, by the way, Republican or Democrat, Trump or Biden, Kamala Harris or JD Vance. It doesn't matter. I've learned a lot about empty promises. I've learned a lot about myself. It took this experience and having an entire spring and summer and into late fall
for me to realize how much help I needed. And so, you know, as Skipper has said on his show multiple times, and as you know, he and I both said when we were doing shows together over at Veteran Nation, you know, I sought therapy because I realized a lot of what was going on in my life was not just some isolated incident that was wrapped up in one particular thing that I'd been going through. There were things I needed to deal with. But for the life of me, when I started this 6 years ago today, that video was 6 years ago today, probably right about this time of the day. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I didn't know anything about YouTube as far as monetization. I didn't know anything about shadow banning. I didn't know anything about, you know, content strikes. And those of you who know that once you have your channel set up and you're monetized and they start coming at you and you rely on, you know, memberships or you rely on monetization to help pay things like for Streamlab, you know, or StreamYard, or you know, pay to keep the internet on, and they start coming at you, you're like, this could get ugly. But I also learned a lot about who I am as far as how it relates to standing up. And probably one of the best friends that I have made and I get mad at this person. Thank you everybody in the chat, by the way. I'm not ignoring people. I get mad at this person because, you know, well, Marines are hard to not get mad at times. He's more stubborn and pigheaded than I am. If you think that's possible, maybe you don't believe that's possible. But he is consistently who he is too. Even though he's consistently wrong on a few things. One is his assertion that he's funny. But I met Skipper Arthur. Gosh, it probably would have been almost a year in, maybe before. Might have been before. On what used to be known as Twitter, and I now call Twix, because you got the left bar and the right bar. But I met him on X, and I'm like, wow, I really like his mission. I like what he has to say and what he wants to do. And I said, why don't you come on my channel? And at that time, I was bigger than him. Son of a bitch. I was bigger than him, and he clout chased me, and now he's bigger than I am. But I brought him on, and we talked about his channel, his platform, his mission, and his targets, and his firing solutions to get there. And next thing I know, I'm getting text messages from him going, hey, you want to come co-host with me? And I'm like, what are you, stupid? And then, of course, the answer was, well, yes, I am. And so I'm going to bring Skipper in. I don't know how long Skipper's going to stick around. Many of you have the invite link to come on to be in studio. I can take up to 10 of you at a time. And I've had multiple people promise to be part of this. If you're interested and you want to come in and say hi, or you want to come on and say the things that I've done that have pissed you off, more than happy to let you in, but you're going to have to send me either a text message if you have my number, or you will have to send me a message on Facebook or on X, and I will send you the link. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring on the inestimable, the unstoppable, the unsinkable, the unfazable, window-licking, crayon-eating Mike Skipper Arthur of Veteran Nation.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No, thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking with me even when we're arguing about stuff that's more important than your current whatever stupid drama you've got going on.
That's what people don't understand about the military. We argue all the time. My hat's all jacked up here. We argue all the time. But that's the thing. Conflict leads to solutions. And if we passionately argue over things, we're going to come to a good solution at some point.
Well, that depends on who's doing the arguing.
No, but seriously, congratulations on 6 years. I could see you invited me on as a guest, and incredibly fair. That was the first thing that stuck out. You really, I could tell then you had a passion for helping people who didn't have the loudest voice. And I think that's something that you and I both agree with, is that when you have a platform, you in some way you do have a responsibility to help people who can't necessarily help themselves. And I think we've done a good job, you and I together and separately, on that.
Agreed. Yeah. I've had, and this is not, well, because you've been there as well. I've had some pretty big names on,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
I don't mean that in a, oh, look at me. I've been able to land some pretty, big names especially within the paleo libertarian, right-leaning libertarian movement. I've had some big names, well-known names. I didn't send any invites to them today. This most, not just because I knew most of them would be like, oh no, sorry, I'm busy. That was not it. Because this platform has never been about big names at all. It's never been that. It's always been about the people that I'm talking to try and give a voice to. I do have a promise from one person who is intimately involved in a story that I have been covering for a while. This individual has said that they are going to do everything they can to be here. That was their number one promise. So
nice.
But see, those are the things that matter to me. Blake's story, and Skipper, you were there while I was covering Lisa's story. You were there through all of that. Now I'm working on Jamie Lucas's story, and those are the people that I've always been concerned about, because big names. And you and I talked about this as you've been covering the Jeremy Hales, the what the hell stuff. Somebody had messaged me when I had made a comment that when you and I were on, over at Vendor Nation, when somebody had messaged me afterwards and said, well, why wouldn't you cover it? It's kind of some of what's in that story is right up your alley. And I'm like, because what the hell's doesn't need my coverage. They've got hangers on, like literal hangers on, like new to the whole story for them, like that get more views than I have subscribers, in 10 minutes of just talking about what the hells. Jeremy Hales and the What the Hell's crew, they don't need me. Not that nobody needs me. Sarah Chicana for Liberty is in the chat. She had an invite to come. She has an invite link to this. She's been told to be here. So I will take her wrench if she doesn't show up. So, but I will also say this. I don't do this very often, but if you guys really want, if today means a lot to you and you have it, super chats and memberships, please, because if you read my essay that I dropped today, TC's in need.
I have to tell you,
lots of need.
I have to tell you this. You asked me to come on, and I said, "Hey, I'll come on, no problem. You just name the time."
You can, and you can't super chat while you're in the stream. So
true. And
get out now.
What do I always do whenever I go into someone's chat? If they're monetized, I send them a super chat. And you know what's interesting? It's very much a theme for you and I. I delayed because I've got the my young man here, and we were going to go today to the Nixon Presidential Library, and I said, "Hey, we'll do that. We can do that some other time. I got this. I got to take care of," and
Aw.
he's okay with it. He's going to a
Aw.
yeah, he's doing a sleepover with a bunch of other teenage boys, so I'm sure I'm going to get woken up in the middle of the night. We caught them out, you know, vandalizing something or something like that'll
The
happen.
Nixon Library.
That'd be a little bit far. It's like 2 hours, but we were talking about doing that, which the summer's coming up. We got plenty of time to do that. So I was like, "Hey,
Thank you
we're
so
just gonna
much,
delay it."
Mismatch Menace. I appreciate that. That's very nice. I was begging, but that's very generous. Thank you. So thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Go
But
anyway.
yeah,
You
that's just
put
a
off the Nixon Presidential Library and your young adult man to do this.
yeah, but you know, I think this is like it's history's important, but what's happening today is always important as well. So I think this is important. And you know, I support you as every way I can.
Yeah, no doubts. Like,
And
and for those who don't know, Skipper and I do argue. We actually do. We've even had to have a moderator come on Vet Nation
yeah,
and moderate as we were debating. I don't even remember what it was. I just remember that when we finished, you walked away crying, and so it was.
and you know what's funny is we've evolved. We now have in our not DMs, in our text messages, we now have brought in Kanu, who also says, "Okay, you two are arguing too much about this. Take a break." But
True.
you know that
and Kahanu is like, I can't come on the kids. I'm like, no, Kahanu, this is not a serious show today. It is, but so Kahanu, get your ass in here, even if the kids are being noisy.
And you know, even with us disagreeing, the one thing that you don't do when you have platforms like this, like the golden rule is you don't go, if it's someone who's a friend of yours, you don't go elsewhere and say his channel shit, or don't follow him or anything like that. And you know, we never do that. We could just be like, "Hey, I disagree with each other on this, but you should go support him because what he's doing is great work."
Well, yeah, and that's you know, even in some of our more recent, and a lot of people don't know this, but Skipper and I haven't agreed on a couple of issues. By the way, everybody, I want everybody to know I'm seeing your chats. I'm not used to trying to keep up with chat like this, so if I don't acknowledge you, it's not intentional. I just want everybody to know that. Skipper and I have had some recent disagreements over a few things, and we've never done it publicly.
Yeah,
we have not. I have expressed during some of Skipper, Coffee with Skipper and some of his other stuff. I have expressed my views, but I have never once said we're not friends because you don't agree with me, and because you know what, folks, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Like, if you don't have anybody in your life, somebody said it here. If friends don't disagree, are they really friends? Thank you. Yeah, Mismatched Menace. Thank you very much. Right. If you don't have a friend in your life who is not diametrically opposed to you on a core philosophical issue like left versus right, if you consider yourself, Sarah, this is a panel, so anybody can come on at any time. In fact, the more of you that come on to chat and panel and talk and say really nice things about me, that's the rule today. Because I am a narcissist, said Skipper this morning. So,
we all are.
If you don't have somebody in your life that you're close to that isn't opposite of you philosophically in a political ideology, or even a good friend who disagrees with you, ideologically on Christian doctrine, if you're a Christian, or maybe you're a Christian and they're a Muslim, or they're a non-Zionist Jew. I don't have any friends that are Zionists. They leave me very fast. If they don't if you don't have somebody like that in your life, you're hurting yourself. You are absolutely hurting
absolutely.
yourself. Absolutely hurting yourself. So,
And we were both in the military. I think this is why other people just don't get it. In the military, people are going to tell you, "Hey, you're doing everything wrong. You're screwing everything up. You're messing up the mission." And what people don't realize is that's healthy, because when you're a part of a team, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And if you're not trying to toughen up that link, then you're never going to be successful.
yes, I do, Menace. I do expect you to bake a cake. Yes. Oh.
I made cheesecake this weekend, so.
Oh, hey, Joey's here. Joey is a local.
Joey.
Hello, Joey.
Hello.
Joey was
How's it going?
Joey was out picking up trash, which means he probably met a Marine somewhere. So
Yes. Yeah. My stepdad was just laying on the side of the road there. Yeah. He was like, I found some crayons.
Oh. Yeah.
We had
Joey
8 people today.
8 people picking up trash for the Libertarian Party.
Yep. I mean, if not for the Libertarians, who's going to fix the roads?
My roads. But what about
exactly?
Joey, say it with me, Joey. But what about
my roads? Yes, precisely.
Oh. Joey and I met, I think the first time we met face to face was the very first Defend the Guard rally here in Minnesota.
Yeah, the 23 one. Yeah, summer of 23.
Yeah, 2023. Yeah, 23.
Yep.
I was.
It was also the first time that I chauffeured Scott Horton around.
Yes, but it wasn't the last.
Okay, technically it was the last, but it's because I passed the duty off to someone else for this year's LPMA convention.
I was too broken. I was too broken to make the trip. way too broken. I wanted to be there. Thank you, Skipper. 7 months as a member. Skipper is leading the way. Like Marines do after the 82nd Airborne goes in. So. But
all right, I'm gonna mute my camera here.
Joey, I really appreciate.
So I can drive home.
You're gonna mute your camera. Is that what they call it now? Is that the kid speak? Muting the camera.
Sure. Why not?
Wow. Thank you, Skipper, not only for the membership but for the super chat. Since you had time to do that, folks, I'm humbled at this next one. Joey, thank you for muting your camera.
Totally.
I did not know. I am going to get a little emotional. Matt.
My man.
Hey. Wow. I sent it to you because you're a superstar, but you're not a superstar. You're my friend and my brother. And I didn't know if you'd have time today. So thank you.
I got you, man. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. I'm emotional, so.
Oh, it's okay, brother. I'm gonna miss it. How technologically dumb I am, but I had to jump on, man. I love you.
You are the law enforcement equivalent of a Marine, yes. So. Thank you.
I'm just here to congratulate and tell you I love you, man.
You have been one of the grounding forces for me to be able to turn to and go, okay, guys, when I tell you that cops are bad, they're not all bad. They're not all bad. And then you put up a video of a cop doing something bad, and we go, okay, even Matt sees it. But for those of you who don't know, and I don't know how you couldn't know, this is Detective Matt Thornton, who is bordering on retirement. If I remember, this is the year, isn't it?
Yeah, about 3 more months. I'm looking at
three more. Are you feeling it?
I'm feeling anxious, like about the next steps.
Oh, geez. That's as soon as you showed up, somebody sent a $5. So you anytime you want to help me make money, Matt, you could just show up.
I got you, brother. How's everything at home, man?
Oh, we're still fighting. Well, that sounds bad.
Sounds like my house.
Yeah, but she can kick your butt.
Yes, she can.
She's like 4 feet taller than you.
Yes, she is.
Oh no, we're we're doing what we can. Everybody knows what the economy's like right now, and so when you're struggling and you and I have talked about this when we both get a kick out of it when people go, law enforcement doesn't make enough money. They need more money. And we're over here going, have you looked at how much a cop makes compared to your neighbor?
Yeah.
And I say that with some abundant clarity. And you and I talked about this once before too, and Skipper knows this as well. Sarah, I see you. Don't go away. When I think one of the first times that we chatted, we were talking about what it was like for me when I ended up, having my struggle and getting forced out of the career. I went, I wrote about it in my essay today that dropped in commemoration of 6 years that, I'm making 75% less than I was making when I left the sheriff's office. And when people come up to me and go, I just don't think cops make enough money. I'm like, I would take that money back right now. I would take it all. Give it back. I don't want the job again. Just give me the money. Because I work harder now than I did then and make far less. So, and putting gas in the vehicle yesterday, that was like, can I sell my grandchild that's on its way? Because that's what I feel like I need to do. Can I put my grandchild up for sale?
You have it easy. I'm in California paying California prices.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, that you chose that, brah.
$5.47 is what I paid the other day. $5.47.
Oh my gosh. Let me shut up. I'm in Wisconsin now. Let me shut up. I can't complain ever again.
Speaking of which, Matt has made me a promise, and I don't know. So, how many months are you away from retiring?
I am 3 or 4.
Oh man, I don't know. We're not going to be able to make it work. Remember, we were going to do a First Amendment audit together, where I was going to show up and audit you, and
I'd love to see that.
I was gonna show up and audit Matt. And we were going to make a bid out of it, but I don't know how we could. I don't know if I can make that work in 4 months.
And I was looking out the window every day, TC. I'm like, is he coming to this day? He sneaks up on me. One thing you did for me though, brother, I really want to let you know this too in front of people, is when I was having those issues about, because I felt a lot about what I can say, what I shouldn't say, what's going to get me in trouble. But you really gave me a thorough look at that I do have the right to speak, and that I can't get backlash as long as I'm doing it in the proper context. And man, if it wasn't for you, I would have maybe quit or slowed a lot down a while back. But I really always think about the encouragement you gave me, man. That meant so much to me, and the stuff that you sent me, the materials and your knowledge, man. I look up to you, man, and I'm very grateful for you, man.
Well, you, like I said, since we met, you've always been gracious to everybody. I see it in all of your interactions with people when you're doing your live streams, when you have time. I know you're busy, but even in your comments and stuff, but you've always been gracious. And I was humbled when I reached out and you're like, hold on, let me get you my number. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, okay. Sure. And sometimes we go a couple of months and we're both busy and wrapped up in life, and all of a sudden one of us will message the other one. And I did do some. I put some pressure on Matt, though. For those who don't know, I sent the raw body cam and dash cam video of Blake Mosted's accident to Matt to watch, and he's a busy guy, so he's not making promises, but he was going to watch it, and I don't know if he's had a chance yet. But
I got a chance to see was it Brian's version of the one you sent me?
I sent you the raw, but I also sent you Brian's to watch. And
yep, that's on my list of things to do, brother. I'm gonna get to it.
Oh no, like I said, no pressure, but I just like this is who he is as an individual. He's you hear horror stories about people who have big followings on YouTube that they're way different in person than when you're interacting with them than what they are on their show. Matt is the real deal, folks, all the time, and he's always made time for me, and that has been a massive blessing. Like I said, Matt has kept me grounded in the reality that there is some hope for people who are currently in law enforcement to change their ways, because he's calling them out. Matt's still in, and he's calling them out, and that's what he was referring to, because he got a little pressure for a while.
Oh yeah, that never stops, man.
Yeah. And he gets threats. I get threats. I don't get any kind of threats compared to what Matt gets. So somebody threatened to set you up at one point, didn't they?
Oh yeah, that was I believe they were from out east. Yeah, come over here.
Yeah. So they were normal out east cops, is what you're saying.
From what I see, they're protesting against. Is that the big thing Sean did? They're protesting against auditors, or they're rallying against people talking mean to them with cameras.
Wait a minute. Law enforcement is staging a rally against First Amendment auditors?
That's what I was told, and I looked into it, man.
How do they?
So
have
they're
time
using
for
their
that?
First Amendment.
Yeah, they're using their First Amendment to protest against the First Amendment.
Everybody, panel, say hi to Sarah. Sarah is local to me as well. She has.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey guys.
Sarah has. Sarah, are you in your insurance outfit? Are you doing your insurance thing today?
I'm actually not, but I did just get done with an insurance call. So I just typed I'm talking to a client actually, but I actually was taking pictures for prom. My son has a senior prom tonight. So
how's that make you feel, Mom?
well, it's my second one. My oldest was 19 and he's already out of all of that, and so now this is my one who'll graduate. So it's hitting pretty hard. I just actually bought him some furniture this morning for his they're getting an apartment out in Mankato they're going to MSU, him and his friends and his girlfriend. So it was I cried heavily this morning when I bought that.
Matt's got his own share of younglings running around.
Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. I just kicked them all out of here so I could.
And
talk.
I just so you know, Matt, as you know, for some reason I can hear you, I can hear Skipper. For whatever reason, as soon as I entered the stream, I couldn't hear Matt. So just so you know, so if he's but
Skipper, can you hear Matt?
Yeah, I can hear everyone.
That is so weird.
That is weird. So I'm not sure why, but I would love to have some little ones running around again.
Yeah, wait till you have grandkids, not just 3. I'm about to have number 4. So yeah.
That's like a party. That's my kind of party now.
No, that is Grandpa, but coming home from a long day at work, going, "Can I have my house back, please?"
No, no, you cannot.
Matt, you got big plans for retirement? Are you and the other 75%? Are you guys taking another big cruise, or
No, but I'm not sure yet. I'm planning on going to Vegas because that's where my dad's from, obviously, when I retire, just to hang out for a little bit. But not sure too many big plans just yet. I'm applying to different places. I got a few things lined up. And believe it or not, one of my dreams, I'm going to try. My wife's fighting me on this, but I want to be a blackjack dealer. There's a local casino here. It's always been a dream of mine, just part-time. So I'm actually going to apply for that.
How's the pastor feel about that?
I know, that's what I say. He's probably gonna be mad at me. I'm like, Pastor, look. There's nothing specific in the Bible against gambling. I'm gonna throw that line at him. See him smack me.
You encourage me in that way, and so does Sarah. Both of you. So I'm glad that you're both here at the same time. When I started this endeavor, like, I thought I had a good church, and those who know, and Sarah knows this in particular because we've had these conversations, and Matt, you and I somewhat. But I'm like this really like rigid, hardcore reformed, like these books back here behind my Scott Horton stuff. Those books back there are all John Calvin commentaries. That John Calvin's writings on the Old and New Testament. And so I'm like, I thought I had the church, right? I had the church. It was locked in. I was solid. And then my church obeyed the governor and shut down. And I'm like, you're supposed to be Presbyterians. We started the war for independence in 250 years ago. We were part of that. Where's your spine? so it is. What happened to suffering slings and arrows and doing the righteous thing? Oh no, 501c3. Gotcha.
There's not a lot of that in a lot of different departments.
And so I have been encouraged because I have watched your faith grow since we met, Matt, and I have watched Sarah quietly. In some respects, I have watched Sarah wrestle with some things, especially as it relates to some of the people that she was following for the last few years, and going, I can't believe this person's doing this. What the blue blazes is going on? And so you two in particular, when it comes to the faith journey aspect, have been once again rocks for me in seeing that a lot of us can be coming from a different perspective, even theologically, and not necessarily lot in saying, if you're not doing it my way, you're doing it wrong. But then at the same time going, well, there's some room for asking questions of our heroes of the faith, especially if they're still alive. So that's been huge for me watching both of you, Sarah and Matt.
I think that's the thing, though, when it comes to faith, is that to me, that is faith. You can still be in awe of our Father. You can still be, live in a righteous fear of the Father, but still question. You can still question. You can still question the people that are you cannot just follow whoever it may be. There have been great, incredible teachers and preachers, and if you can't just follow, you can listen, you can learn, but then the how you live that out, the questions, the steps that you take, how are you going to be the hands and feet, that's up to you. And you have to be willing to question. You have to be willing to question your partner, or in my case, like if you're your husband or whatever, or your wife. You have to be willing to question and still respect them. And I think that's the whole journey. I think that if you're not completely leaning on anyone besides the Father, besides Christ, you're going to trip. You're going to fall. And I think that's the thing that we have to learn, is that we're all on that. We are all going to be subject to failure. And if you're either going to question and for their sake and for yours, or just going to you're gonna miss the whole point of growing in faith and learning from your own faith and leaning in your own faith. So
everybody say hi to Charlie.
Charlie!
Hey, how's it going?
Charlie, Sarah, of course.
I know Sarah.
Skipper, Charlie, Matt, Charlie, Matt, Charlie, Skipper. I'm not doing this for the rest of the show.
I'm so excited. I get to be on with both. You guys both are doing things that I aspire to do in some small way. Both of you guys.
Whoa. I'm okay. This is not to shame the men on the panel right now, but Sarah, I remember when we met. Okay, so everybody needs to understand this. Sarah and I didn't just meet by happenstance, okay?
Or happy hour.
Or happy hour. Yeah, there was no happy hour involved. Matt, you'll get it. Matt, you'll get a kick out of this because I know you guys saw a lot of this down in your neck of the woods in Illinois and Wisconsin. But Sarah was part of a group in Owatonna, Minnesota, that was battling against the school board on multiple issues, from masking to DEI to everything else, and they were just getting bullied and pushed around by the school board. They would show up consistently, and somebody from over there had reached out, and said, "Hey, we need some help." And for the life of me, I cannot at this time remember who it was, but they had found out that I was doing work in Albert Lee and I had done something in Mankato. So, because that was the summer of 2021 when I was out on paid administrative leave being investigated for having a podcast. So
and the files that we got from the school district looked like the Epstein files. It was 90%, 95% redacted.
I was going to say they may actually have been more redacted.
It was insane. I mean, it just go to show that there were a lot of things that they didn't want people to see. It was pretty horrific. And then the way that like you said, the way we were treated for asking for information that we are 100% entitled to. So
and they were invoking, like, they were literally, and Matt, this, you could speak to this because I know you're retiring, you were a detective, but you will be retiring out of law enforcement as a school resource officer, which you have found to be your in your own, I'm paraphrasing you, but in your own words, by your own estimation, the most favorite thing you've done as a cop.
Oh, definitely.
And they were using the SROs not for safety and security of the kids in this situation. They started bringing SROs in to intimidate parents and community members. And Sarah will back me up on this. I was invited to come to a school board meeting, and I may or may not have called out the president of the school board and told him to shut up and answer questions instead of yelling at people and shutting down even school board members.
Yeah.
And the next meeting, every single cop that they had free was at that meeting. And somebody had gotten wind of this and had said, and Sarah will back me up on this, we need to find a way to shut that TC guy down. Because I showed up with cameras and I was vocal. And for the first time, the people of that group in Owatonna, Minnesota, realized they had the power. And they had control of that meeting.
This is something we've talked about on Better Nation, TC. So, I used to teach my Marines, sunshine is the best disinfectant. And you're seeing it right here. They redacted, they wanted to hide everything. Well, the moment that you start shining a light on it, people start saying, oh, I don't like this. And that's when people start rising up and taking the power back. And as bad as that was, I'm glad it happened because it woke a lot of people in this country up as to how our government and how our government institutions operate.
It's true.
Absolutely.
It's true. And we've actually, and we actually went back towards, going, we reflected back towards our school board meetings, towards what we did with the levy for the school, that we were able to actually vote no on when we passed a petition to go against another tax levy for a school board, or for a police department and fire hall that were going to cost us about $62 million and a tax increase of about 10%. So we actually petitioned, and it is interesting because as soon as we started videoing, because they stopped videoing or live streaming the city council meetings. They stopped live streaming the city council meetings because they couldn't afford it. But we can afford a $62 million towards, but anywho, so once we started shining on the light, like you say, sunshine, disinfectant, once we started shining light on what was actually going on, we started putting those out on YouTube. Once we started making a hubbub, once we started, getting a Facebook group together, we put petitioning parties together, all this good stuff. All of a sudden it spread, and we got almost 3,000 signatures for a petition that we needed 700 for. And so we literally got about 10% of the population to sign a petition so we could get this tax levy essentially on the ballot come November. So we did win against that, and it is one of those things that now they saw that they saw there's something that they could do. They did it. Now they're saying, holy crap, we actually won a small battle here. And it really is. Once you get people involved and once you get them seeing what's possible, when you just talk to your neighbors and get 5 or 10 heck, gal I was talking to earlier this morning from our church, little lady from to place cards at church, she went out and got 10 signatures, and she said, before I knew it, I had the whole page done.
That's awesome.
So
She was playing cards in church. That's she needs to repent.
I feel like DC. I feel like I joined at the right time. I mean,
you did actually. I saw you nodding. I saw you nodding at the sunlight is the best disinfectant. So
I have that on my website actually, as one of the quotes on my website, and
for those who don't know, Charlie is a libertarian candidate running for Minnesota State Auditor, which we do need somebody. We less governors, less attorney generals, and more auditors, please, and not just First Amendment auditors, but just can you please someone audit the freaking government, please.
Hey, I appreciate First Amendment auditors like everybody else. I'm coming at this from a different approach, right? So I'm trying to remove the bureaucratic process that keeps information with the government. So my whole point is I'm a data engineer by trade. So I build and I know I'm a big nerd. So I build and consult for like companies to build data warehouses from all these different disparate sources and bring them together so executives can make decisions on real-time data. And then that combined with my at least somewhat political career has kind of dovetailed into this Minnesota State Auditor race. Having conversations with my county board members and my city council members, they don't have real-time analytics on their financials at all, right? So there is no data being brought into a real-time dashboard that they can ask questions of. Most of our city council members and county board members rely on quarterly PDF reports or the financial secretary's report or the treasurer's report. And so what I'm looking to do at the state auditor's office is just ensure that all municipal financial transactions are publicly transparent and public via APIs. So anybody could go out, download that data at any given point in time. It's public information. We don't need this bureaucratic request process anymore to go fill out an information request or wait 10 days for them to respond, have it come back in a malformatted schema or something that you can't work with. And we can normalize all that across all municipalities across the state. And so that's basically my campaign, is to make sure that we move forward with real transparency in real time across the state.
For those who don't know, once again, Charlie is local to me. Charlie and Sarah have had the unfortunate reality of having to see me in person. So Sarah, I have a picture of Sarah somewhere. I should put it up on the YouTube channel. I have a picture of Sarah somewhere wearing one of my beanies.
Yep.
And it doesn't fit her quite as well as it should. So I have a picture of that. I should put it up. It's because it's adorable. But Skipper and Matt have been fortunate. They haven't had to be in my presence yet. So
I was the one who was all sad because you weren't at the convention. I was like, where are you?
Sarah's like, why aren't you here? And I'm like, I'm poor. But Charlie and I met for the first time face to face at the very first, as well as Joey when Joey was in the stream for just a couple of minutes at the same time, and I found out that Charlie was running for office, and I was like, "Hey, come on the show, we'll talk," because you were running for a House seat at that time.
Yeah, there was a special election for a state House seat.
Yeah, and I brought Charlie on, and we went ahead and shot his chances of being elected right out the window.
Right
And,
out the window. Yeah.
right out the window.
I think I got like 8 votes, right?
Yeah, that was my fault. I take full credit for that. I am keeping the track record of having no libertarians elected to office.
There you go.
In Minnesota, right here. And funny enough, Matt was doing just fine with his wonderful channel. By the way, folks, if you have not gone over and subscribed to Matt's channel yet, you should. Please subscribe to Matt's channel. It's one, he handles it with grace and humility and a lot of humor. He's very funny. He's very funny. And I'm going to give you some inside dirt. Matt's not ready for this. So Matt, I'm going to give you some inside dirt. When Matt's busy, he releases videos he's already done, but he puts them in black and white.
Yeah.
So
you can tell.
Hey, that's just good marketing. Right?
That's just marketing. TC spilling dirt on a good friend.
That's like, this video did well. I'm gonna repurpose that one.
I am using that thing again.
I might steal that.
I'm like, why is Matt? I've seen this one, Matt. Why are you putting it? Why is it right? And I'm like, what are you doing?
It's like when you run a good play in football. You're gonna try it.
Exactly.
Just try the same play again.
Hey, you run it till the defense stops it. That's what.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, and he's like, bro, I've been so busy, I can't help it. But like, it's been such a strange journey, and like, and this, you guys, seriously right now, and I think Joey said he's back, but I can't see him on camera. So Joey, unless you're willing to put your ugly mug on cam, I mean your wonderful treasurer mug. You guys as a panel, you guys that kind of embody what has been the core. And there he is. There we go. You guys I
have a face for radio, I know.
Yes, we agree. I've seen you on the Minnesota Libertarian podcast, and we 100% agree with you, Joey. As a panel, and now with the 5 of you in, it embodies what I would have hoped happened when I started this, 6 years ago today. Now it's not one of those things where I'm going April 25th, 2020, we're in the middle of everybody being told they had to stay home all over the country. And by the way, folks, it wasn't just your governor in your state. It was everywhere. It was every state except for, strangely enough, South Dakota. And we saw how that ended up for us. But talk about a massive disappointment. But like the one state that tried to shut everything down early, shut down early. Our current president threatened that governor, Ron DeSantis, with federal law enforcement action if he didn't keep his state locked down. And that's where I started to say and ask hard questions. And so on that day of April 25th, 2020, when I'm having the conversations that I'm having with people, and I'm going to show my very first man on the street, and I sure all of you probably have things you need to do. There's plenty of room on the panel. Skipper's in the private chat. I can go if you want me to leave. I'm like, no, Skipper. I might want you to leave, but no.
I want you to have time for all your guests.
Oh, I'll ignore you if I have to. But when I play this video that I want to play, and Matt, if you got to go, I know you're busy too, and I'm sure Tennille has plans for you to make dinner. So
I got to go in a few minutes. It should be on my back.
Yeah, I'm gonna run up to actually Midway. The Minnesota United's playing a match tonight, and I'm gonna stand
that sounds like
and
soccer.
It is soccer. I'm gonna hand out some rat cards, and I'm gonna, talk to people about.
So here, I'll give you your opportunity, since you're leaving, and Matt, I know you got to go. I'll do this. Now is your time to stroke my ego. I'm kidding.
Happy birthday, TC.
No, Charlie, we will get you on to talk about your campaign in more detail, and I just want to thank you for being one of those people who has been here from early on, maybe not from day one, but early on, you have been here and have tolerated me sending you just a massive amount of things to watch and listen to and read, and having the patience to not go, could you stop sending me things?
Oh, you don't know how many messages I've written to you that I haven't sent.
oh, I do. I see you. I watch. I'm just glued to the instant messenger going, I'm watching him type. Oh, he did the right thing. He didn't send it because I know where he lives. No.
We love you.
Well, you know that I have a deep affinity for everybody in the Minnesota Libertarian Party because you guys are all autistic and we appreciate it.
That we are.
Yeah. Sarah's like, yeah, that's me.
Thanks.
Oh.
See, you should have been at the convention. You've seen it in real time.
I was poor. So
no, but I gotta run up there and start.
You go lit
get
drop
on the campaign trail. Yeah.
Go lit drop. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi, Charlie. I really appreciate having you in my
Thanks
circle.
for doing what you do, Charlie, too.
Hey, thank you very much. We'll see you guys later.
But
running for auditor is no joke. That's a big one.
No, that's
no
terrible.
joke.
That's a thankless job. Thankless job. Doge, right? Anyway, I'm waiting. I'm still Matt, Skipper, Joey, Sarah. I don't know about you guys. I'm still waiting on my Doge check.
Oh man.
I'm still waiting on my. I'm still waiting on my tariff check. I'm still waiting on my. I'm still waiting on my income taxes to be canceled.
I was so I'm still wondering why I got it. I was so I literally probably would have bought like a Doge Letterman. I was so excited. I was so just like my whole brain was on fire at that point in time. I was so excited, and yeah,
Are you sure
I don't know
that
why I
wasn't-
bought into it so hard. Oh, maybe because I
Sure
wanted
that
it to
wasn't
be.
the tequila.
No.
Matt, I know you got to get going, and that and by the way, tell your beautiful other half thank you for sharing. So we had the chance to meet off stream once in chat just briefly before a show before she ran off, and Matt did a show with me, our most recent show.
We got to do another one.
Yeah, absolutely. The last one was great because I got to do all the talking.
Well, let's get it on the schedule, brother. I'll definitely glad to be here. Glad to congratulate you, man.
What can people do? And I say this in all seriousness. As much as I joked about everybody send me super chats, I would if you had to choose a membership to my channel versus a membership to somebody else's channel, it would either be Skipper or Matt. I would much rather, if you were going to support the work of somebody, Skipper is doing far more for veterans than I will ever be able to do. And Matt has done far more for law enforcement transparency than I have ever done. Ever. Because Matt has done something that I will never be able to do. Matt has done it in the face of fire and stayed in the work. They everything that they did when I started this and when they came for me, I was alone, and I could not stay in the fight. They forced me out. They didn't fire me because they knew they couldn't. They ultimately could not fire me, but they forced me out. And there again, read my essay this morning that dropped over on my Substack. They won. They didn't win because they couldn't fire me, but they did everything to me that they wanted. They got rid of me and they took my income away from me. But Matt has stayed in the fire through all of this. He has been threatened. His life has been threatened. His freedom has been threatened. His career has been threatened. And he has stayed consistent. And he has continued to do that with a smile on his freaking face every freaking time. I come on, I talk about the stories I talk about, and I get mad, spicy, salty, and say things that Matt would be like, Todd, stop. So if you had to choose between memberships on my channel or Super Chat, take them to Matt. Matt, take them. If your budget's that tight, take it to Matt.
And I wouldn't be in this fight if it wasn't for you, brother. I got a list of about 5 people that have kept me strong through these years, and you're one of the top 5. So I can't thank you enough.
So, Matt, and I know you got to go. So, I love you, and I'm here for you for anything you need. So
I got you, brother.
We love your content, Matt.
Just not money. Don't ask me for money.
Tennille will take it anyway.
Well, I love Tennille too. So thank you for showing up. You touched my heart today when you.
Likewise, brother. Hit me up and we'll do the next show.
Absolutely. So,
and it was great meeting everybody.
Thank you for being here, Matt. That's awesome.
Love you guys.
Says a lot about you.
Good to see you,
bro.
Take it.
Huge props, man.
Oh, no, Joey. The rest of the show's on. No, I'm kidding. Joey runs all the. What's so funny is that Joey is not the guy that Joey said this himself. Joey's not the guy that wants to be on cam. Joey's the guy that runs everything behind the scenes, helps out Rebecca and everybody else. Charlie, TJ. By the way, TJ said he'd show up. Rebecca said she'd show up. And yet here's Joey, who was invited, and Sarah, who was invited. They're here. Madam Chair is too important, I guess. I don't know.
Running for Senate and stuff. I don't know.
U.S. Senate.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Charlie was on, because he was at the highway cleanup this morning and the lunch afterward. And he said that he was going to be out distributing flyers. And then suddenly he's on the podcast. I'm like, hey, that's not where you said you'd be.
No, Charlie has been a steadfast friend throughout all of this. And same as you, Joey, and Sarah and Skipper. So it's been great. I'm waiting for another person who's in the chat right now who has an invite. I'm wearing a hat for her. So I would love for that person to show up, but I guess she's too busy.
She's been blowing up my DMs the whole time I've been on here. Like,
she's too busy eating Southern food. I'm like, well, you live in the South, so all your food is by extension Southern.
It does, but it doesn't. But even if you get trans,
I mean, that's not true. They could eat pickle roll-ups if they wanted to.
It's still Southern pickle roll-ups.
I was gonna say, because it doesn't change no matter where you live.
I know people from the South, and they would recoil that. And that you could have cream cheese around a pickle with some ham in it and call that Southern food. They'd rebel again.
I rebel against that. That sounds like ass to me. So I like pickles. I like cream cheese.
Because I enjoy it.
Uh-oh, Joe.
Yeah, we're losing you.
Oh, I think that's probably just switching cell towers or something.
No, Joey's experiencing what TC experiences every time he does a drive time dialectic. I remember Skipper in chat. This is so funny.
I think that's why I dropped off the call initially too.
Skipper will. I don't know if he'll remember this, but I remember it because it's hilarious. I was doing a drive time, which I love to do drive times, but I live in a part of the country where drive times are seasonal, because I do them. I tend to do them 99.9% of the time. I do my drive time dialectics when I'm on my way home after a work day, and so in the winter months, it's very difficult to do a drive time dialectic because it's a black screen. Even though it's not, the camera's on, it's still a black screen with just my voice. But
there's just no natural light at all.
I live in the heart of an H.P. Lovecraft story. But that's more on the Substack side. But anyway, I was doing one, and somebody came on. They're like, "You're driving distracted," and Skipper was like, "Technically, he's not." He was in the chat. Skipper, do you remember that? No.
Yeah, I do.
He's like, technically, he's not. He's hands free, which has actually been a source for me to be able to point to, especially covering the Blake Mostad story for the last year. Literally, I think May will mark a year that I've been covering the Blake Mostad story, and everybody who's here probably knows a little bit about the Blake Mostad story by now if they've been paying any attention to me. And I'm like, you're gonna jump on me for talking to a phone on a mount, mind you. I've got video of a Minnesota State Trooper driving 120 plus miles an hour, one-handed, like he's riding his hoopty, cruising in high school. Okay, I'm like, seriously, like do you guys, do we need to show it? Do I need to show it right now? Like, this trooper's driving. Skipper's got the raw video. He's seen it. He's gonna run it on his channel. He's driving down the highway like he's in a low freaking rider. There, Sarah. Shout out to your Chicano side.
Gotta lean back.
Yeah, he's leaned back and he's playing with his computer, and he at one point at least 2 times. Yes, Joey's leaning now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can do that now.
At least sideways. Times, this guy is got his phone in his hand, and you're gonna jump on me for just talking while I'm driving down the road and tell me that I'm dangerous at 55 miles an hour because I drive my age. You know, well, it's true. I drive my age. Every year. If I live to be 80, I might get a speeding ticket. So, but I don't know. I'm gonna show you guys because I said we're gonna do TC's very first. Are you guys ready for this? This is my very first. I'm not even joking. My very first. It's almost embarrassing. Very first man on the street. Go ahead, Sarah. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, they say if you're not embarrassed by your first video, you waited too long or you haven't been working hard enough, because your first and your last should be very different. So I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, Skipper brought this up in his stream this morning. My stuff is Skipper even said, wow. So we're going to watch.
And I had big guests early on. I got some very good big guests. The biggest one was Donald Belisario, who was the producer for Magnum PI. He was a Marine veteran. Got him on the show, and I sucked as an interviewer back then.
This is my very first man on the street interview. Are you guys ready? This is Christina. This is at the Minnesota Reopen rally in St. Paul in front of the governor's mansion, and this is my very first man. I had no idea what I was doing, so bear with me, folks. My video production quality was freaking amazing. I see that.
Like watching Star Wars.
Sarah, I love you. Now, if you would introduce yourself and tell me where you're from and why you're here and how you've been impacted by this entire ordeal.
Sure. My name's Christina Selmer. I'm from Prior Lake, Minnesota, and I own a small 7-chair hair studio in Savage, Minnesota. And we've been impacted. We were shut down on March 17th.
Okay.
And more than myself, but my stylists who rent from me, they're all independent contractors. And so we haven't been able to collect any unemployment. They haven't been able to get the PPP. So we really have been without any support in this whole thing.
Okay, so you said you have 7.
I have 7 chairs. I've got 9 stylists.
9 stylists, and they all rent space from you.
Correct.
Which makes them self-employed.
Yes.
Okay, and do they have the ability to go out and rent from other places, or do they all work strictly in your shop?
Well, no one. I mean, all the salons in the U.S. are shut down, so there's nowhere to go work. So,
how long have you owned your studio?
It will actually be 2 years, May 21st.
And before that, you did what?
I was a hairstylist.
Okay, and you worked in another.
Yep,
studio.
I rented. I've been an independent contractor for 16 years.
15 or 16 years. How much? And you don't have to give me exact numbers if you don't want to, but so you started doing this 2 years ago, bought your own storefront. Did you buy an existing one, or
I'm leasing a space in
a space
in the strip mall. Yeah.
Okay, and it had everything in place, and
No, I took out a small business loan to start my business.
Okay.
And I will say that with the president's help, I think with the SBA has taken care of part of my SBA loan for me through this, so that's been great. But who I lease from, they helped me out a little bit the first month, but now are expecting for their rent to be paid as well.
Okay. You personally invested money into this.
Correct.
You still have to pay the lease.
Yep.
You've gotten a little bit of help by way of relief, but you're missing a lot of income.
Oh yeah.
Every month.
Oh yeah.
And your
because
style.
I don't think it's fair to charge my stylists their
Right.
rent when they aren't making any income either.
Absolutely. And you're not eligible. Just I know you guys are listening, but just like, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair of me. It's not fair of me. And there's so many things about this, and I didn't want to cut her off, but even then I was thinking the conditioning of it's not fair of me, and she's there because what's being done to her isn't fair, right? But she's concerned about stylists who are paying, chair rent to her. If you guys don't know, I learned way more about what do they call this business?
Subletting,
hairstyling. No, thanks, Skipper. That was great. Joey was at least tried a decent answer. No, it's more about the whole business, the career of doing hair and all of that. Cosmetology. There we go. This whole cosmetology thing. She is way more concerned about these cosmetologists and hairstylists and whatnot than she is about herself. And she's there to protest what the government's making her do, but all she's concerned about are the people that rent from her. This is the backbone of freaking America here.
Yeah.
This is the freaking backbone. This is what's been done to us. And everybody's like, man, I'm so glad that's over. No, look at your gas prices right now, folks. Do you want to know why I don't appeal to a certain segment of the population right now? Because I'm consistent. Anyway, I'm sorry. For unemployment.
Not as yet. They keep telling us that that's going to come through, but we haven't seen any unemployment.
And so it's been almost
6 weeks.
Almost
right?
6 weeks, yeah. So let's say 6 weeks. It's been 6 weeks since this has started, and you're living off of.
Well, my husband's in the restaurant business, so he's been unemployed as well. So we are living off of his unemployment.
Okay.
And deferring as many payments on things as we possibly can to make it through these couple of months.
Okay. Not hard or not easy.
Not easy, no.
Not easy at all. No. Are you out here today because you and you can be as honest or as guarded as you want? Are you out here today just because you don't like the governor and all you care about is screwing him over and making him look bad? That was very important to me at the time. Because that 6 weeks in to the lockdowns, when I finally had said enough is enough, somebody has to start talking about this besides the local media. It was literally just a political issue for most people. It was Democrats versus Republicans. Republicans would never do this, and the Democrats are the only ones that would. And Skipper, you and I have talked about this. We both recognize, Sarah, I know you know this, and Joey, I know you know this. They're just all power hungry.
Yep.
Not a one of them is concerned about their oaths to the Constitution. Skipper, am I wrong? Have you not recognized that? I know you have.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We still see all this stuff playing out today. Now it's a little bit different. But yeah, I don't think any of the major parties have stayed true to themselves at all.
I was gonna say the same thing. If they want to now, 6 years later, they want to sit there and say, "Well, we didn't. Well, they did. The Democrats or whoever did this during the shutdowns and all these. Every time there's a an election, they want to sit there and point a finger at who did what during the shutdowns, and
What about it?
and nobody stood on any sort of foundation of the Constitution or for the oath that they took. Not a single one of them, aside maybe you saw DeSantis and what ultimately ended up happening to him, what Noam was trying to do for a while, Massey, but other than that, everybody just folded.
Well, but now you look at DeSantis, and he went to Israel to sign legislation to make it illegal to say bad things about Israel.
Yep.
And they literally just prosecuted a girl in Florida for making a joke about asking Bibi to bomb Florida. Like, it was literally a joke. Like, no one believes. Like, Skipper, you and I talk about this a lot. You've talked about this on your channel, just about the what the hell stuff alone. But it's not a threat if there's no demonstrable way that it can happen.
Right.
Like you could be sarcastic and make a comment, and they could try and charge you with it, but no good prosecutor's ever going to go, well, they had the means to convince Benjamin Netanyahu to have the IDF bomb your school graduation. Like, what the fuck? Like, she made a joke about having her school. It wasn't even the full graduation. It was just some sort of final viewing thing. I don't know what it was. She literally goes, Bibi, please send some bonbons to such and such. And she's now facing felony charges. Like, so, like, every single, there's like a handful. And Thomas Massey is one of them in the fact of it, when you're dealing with the two-party system.
Somebody just made a joke, and they said someone let Benjamin Netanyahu, it was somewhere in America, and say that's where they're keeping the uranium enriched uranium. And it was like it's clearly a joke. Clearly a joke.
I want us get a VPN and set it for Tallahassee, Florida, and say, "Hey, I heard the Federal Reserve is building nukes for Iran." But I'm afraid they'll come for me. I'm just afraid, and like I've never been more afraid than I've been afraid of the IDF and Mossad coming for me. Honestly, I'm like, Skipper, come help me. You're a Marine, help. But she's just this poor gal she's just over here. She's suffering, and I'm looking at this already in April 25th, 6 years ago today. I'm already looking at this from the perspective of what's the truth of what's happening here. Now I'll let her go on for just a little bit more.
No, not at all. I mean, I think all of our leaders are doing the best that they can in these situations. But
Do you hear that? Like, how indoctrinated are we at this point? 6 weeks this has been going on. After Skipper, how many weeks were we promised to flatten the curve?
Oh, it was wasn't it 2 months was the max?
2 weeks. 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But then months later we were even more locked down.
And wearing masks.
If you recall, we were doing the show, and the moment I turned on everything was when they arrested a guy out here in California who was swimming by himself in the ocean, and they arrested him. I was like,
I remember that.
We've officially crossed the Rubicon into the land of the crazy.
Paddleboarder. No, he was paddleboarding, and they chased him with a helicopter and a speedboat. He was freaking paddleboarding.
By himself.
Paddleboarding. He was freaking
Were the cops on that speedboat socially distanced?
No, they were in the middle of doing government business, Joey. They were doing government business.
Of course. How silly.
Skipper sending us private
The
messages.
rules only apply to civilians. Yes, that's right.
Skipper sending me private messages. I gotta go. I need to make lunch.
I do.
Is your blood sugar? Oh, we lost her.
No, it's not me. I got the little man here. So, but
Skipper's
I'll
blood sugar
I'll
is
still stay
crashing.
watching.
All right.
Is it?
Skipper, I don't want to sound morbid. Final words. Joey, I can see Joey's been working all morning. Hold on, Skipper, before you go make lunch. Joey,
Sure.
I know you're yawning and you're in your parking or in your driveway. Joey, is there anything that you would like to say in defense of being my friend?
In defense of being your friend, well, I for one don't know if it can be defended, so I don't.
Or do they?
No, man, you're awesome, and happy birthday, and I'm glad you're doing this.
So, well, thank you, Joey. I've always appreciated that you are in. This is literally you are the behind the scenes guy that makes everything happen for a lot of people. So thank you very much for what you do for Minnesota in particular. So go and enjoy whatever it is you're going to do this afternoon.
All right, thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks for being here, Skipper.
I want to congratulate you on 6 years. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Thank you for
allowing. Thank you for being part of it. I'm not allowed.
Yeah, but you reached out and said, "Hey, why don't you come on?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I'd love to talk with you." And that began a really good friendship that I'm very thankful that I have. You keep me honest, and I value that.
I just challenge you. I don't know if you were honest because you were an honest man.
Well, like I've always said, I don't want friends to stab me in the back. I want those to stab me in the front. And whenever there's any issue, you text me and we hash it out and we figure out what right looks like. And I thank you for that.
Georgie's not going to come on now that you're not going to be here.
She better, because now I have to go. I'm gonna be listening and while I'm making lunch, and I want to hear.
She said she had a surprise for me. I wore my hat backwards because she said hats backward. She said hats backwards are sexy, and I need all the help I can get. So, and I'm not putting my feet on cam. So
keep the beard, backwards cap. You're doing all the things. You're doing pretty good.
So I told Sarah to shut up earlier or something like that, and I was being bossy, and she goes, "Bossy's good. White guys being bossy is cool."
That's when stuff's really going to start to happen. That's
right? Yeah. Things are happening. The white guy's getting bossy.
Something's about to go down.
Skipper,
a bossy man can be attractive. That's a good thing.
What were you going to say, Skipper?
Oh, I'll be watching while I go grill some cheeses.
Oh.
Did you say grill some cheeses?
Yep. Unlike you, I'm not the world's greatest chef, so that's what we're gonna have today: grilled cheese.
I do think that it's probably time for another Vet Nation Cooking with TC.
I'm down for it.
We have to figure out how to make it work so that we're streaming it to both our channels, though, because some of my audience has been asking for another cooking show. So Sarah
can happen.
Sarah knows I love her to death, but Sarah can be really difficult to pin down. But boy, for some reason, if I'm making food, Sarah shows up.
Oh yeah, I'll take all the tips I can get, but
I don't know, but like my Chicana libertarian, for some reason, has some special setting when I'm streaming food preparation. She just in the chat. Right?
I'm a hungry girl at heart. Okay.
Skipper, do you any final words before you go grill some cheeses?
I hope everyone sends some super chats, because TC likes money and he needs money.
I like money.
And money is good. And I didn't use the soundboard. You should be proud of me.
I don't think it would have worked on my end. You should try it.
I'll have to pull it up. I think it will, because it'll come through. Oh, hold on. How's that?
Nope, nobody heard anything.
Nope.
How about
okay?
How about, can you guys hear if I do it?
There you go. Bravo.
But yeah, very proud of you, and I know another great 6 years. And as I've always said, your success is my success, and I can't support you enough, and look forward to everything good that you're going to bring.
Wow, thanks for not putting any expectations on me.
Expectations
You'll
are
do
good.
fine.
Oh, mm-hmm. Well, Skipper, you have been, even like I said at the beginning before you were on, like even in the moments of frustration that we've had with each other over disagreements on particular, and it's always been on like really important topics too. It's never been like something petty. It's never been petty stuff like, Skipper, if you don't stop covering what the hell's on your channel, I'm not talking to you anymore. It's like we've actually had important, and I mean that. Some people, they don't understand. They literally don't.
Yeah.
It's important to be able to talk about the things you disagree about that are important issues. If
Right.
you're ending a friendship or a relationship with someone over something petty, you're the problem. You are literally the problem. It's me. I'm the problem. That's the biggest thing that I wish I could get people to see. And that's been, Skipper, you've had it in Georgie has been going through it this week with people who are just like mad at her for talking positively in a friendly way to somebody. And because they're on the wrong side of this very, very important issue that has no impact on my life whatsoever other than my content. And
how dare you talk to that person? That's literally what it came down to.
Yeah. And you guys know, you and Georgie both know, and Georgie, get your ass in here, by the way. You guys know how I feel about the what the hell stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't care. I just don't have the hard drive space for it, if you will. I just don't.
There are channels today that's all they talk about, and like they don't have huge followings, and I'm like, you got to do other stuff. Like I've been covering that story since I first stumbled on it in May of 2023, and but it's not who I am. We've said, okay, we're gonna do Veteran Nation together. We're not gonna talk about these things, but yeah,
because I have had to tell people while they're in the chat, like I'm not here to talk about that,
right? and like today, but it's really highlighted our personalities with this stuff, because like today, you saw I got a cease and desist, and you were like, "What are you gonna do about that?" And I'm like, "I'm turning it into a song."
Right.
So, some of these, everyone's crazy, and we're just going to laugh as the world burns.
Well, because if you don't laugh as the world burns, you end up just crying, and then you put the fire out, and I think ultimately we just need to let the fire burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
burn it down, we'll rebuild it better.
Hopefully. Skipper, go grill your cheeses, and then get in the chat and light people up, because Georgie's very concerned that besides her and now Voss, it seems like there's people watching, but nobody's chatting, and that's been weird. So normally
I'll start fights in the chat.
Yes, phenomenal. Yeah, so I was who wants to watch me absolutely intellectually and philosophically manhandle the chief deputy when he wants to write me up? Who wants to see that?
Oh boy. I bet a lot of people do.
Sarah's like, I bet a lot of people do. Like,
well, because a lot of times we think we see these people having these positions, these titles, right? And then you actually challenge or have any sort of conversation, and you find out what they're really made of. So
yeah, this is great, and it's worth the view. If I can figure it out. Skipper, before you go, talk to Sarah for a minute about how wonderful I am while I look this up.
I think he's off now already, isn't he?
Did he leave already?
Yep, I think he did. I'll
Okay.
talk about while you scroll. I will actually talk to
I will
people.
talk about how wonderful you are.
I will talk to people about how wonderful you are. I think
Oh.
for me, I think what's really been stands out to me has been the fact that since day one, when I had known of the podcast, but I'd never met you. From that time to now, the consistency, like you're talking about, you can stand on you have principles, you have a foundation, you have things that you've made your remarks, you've made your stance known, but then the evolution that goes along with that. And that to me has been the great part of the journey, because the consistency of character and then but then the evolution of what you've been doing and how you're approaching things, or new guests or new topics, and then not being willing to back down on certain things that are the long haul, right? So it's just like any good writer or author, like you are as well. People who don't know, find a Substack, pretty cool. But like any good author, any good I don't. You have to have the ability to stay consistent in these long-term ideals and these long-term battles, but be able to also adapt and to be able to bring new stuff all the time. It's to me that's been the cool thing, is being able to see the cooking, to be able to see the coffee with Skipper, and to see, or have all these other things going on, but still have consistency and still see how these other long-term projects turn out as well. That to me is pretty impressive.
Sarah, what you've heard me say multiple times, and you'll laugh when I say this, but is that, government is the gift that keeps on giving, in the sense of, just when you think you've reached the end of the
Oh,
depth of co government ineptness and corruption,
yeah.
they turn around and, they surprise you with just how inept and corrupt they really can be. And
Yeah.
uh, I I go back to when you and I were meeting face to face for the first few times at the Owatonna school board meetings, and how Sebring was trying so hard to talk to me outside of the school board meetings about how, no, I totally understand about how, you guys have some legitimate issues and concerns, and I don't want to be the person that shuts you down, and I'd love to talk to you sometime. And like, and then in the very next, breath, it's, getting back to me that not only is he going after you guys, but now I'm like, they were looking for reasons to
Mhm.
arrest me, like literally trespass me in from the school board meetings.
Yeah,
And
they do. Yeah, they do that with they do that with city council too, apparently, because
yeah,
first few times I show up, and I hate to say, like I said too, I told you in the message, I said, everyone needs that token brown person at the party. so so they see me walk into our city council meetings. Everyone is super
they're
warm,
they ass-
super,
yep,
super, yeah,
they assume you're a leftist.
engaging. Yeah, they're very engaging until I open my mouth and I consistently show up with the same message. And then all of a sudden they see me, and they'll say hello, and they're respectful, and they shake hands and things of that nature, but they're not so warm and bubbly anymore. I
Yeah,
don't know. I
yeah.
just, yeah.
Well, you got invited to speak at that event, and I don't think they knew
Hmm.
what they were doing.
No, no, they didn't.
Yeah, like,
They did
it was
not.
because it was a very leftist event, in the
It
sense of
was.
they were using the Martin Luther King anniversary celebration, and they really thought that they had, hey, we got our little Hispanic hot mama here that's she's gonna come in, and she's gonna say all of the leftist talking points, and she's gonna be all DEI and white people bad and all of that. And like, no, they got truth from you, and
Yeah.
that's what makes people really uncomfortable, is that you don't fit the molds that they have fabricated in their mind for what you should be, because you're a Chicana.
They thought they were going to get someone that, loved all there was all there was to, the to I don't know, maybe Malcolm X and and even to MLK and his writer who was a socialist.
Yeah. They were expecting you to come in with a Che Guevara shirt on, is what they were expecting.
Yeah. Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Instead, I started quoting Thomas Sowell. So.
Yeah. I mean, so like you're dangerous, but
Yeah.
so, yeah, because and then your internalized racism against yourself. That's what that is, internalized racism.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is
remember that.
exactly.
So
That's exactly it. Yeah.
For those who haven't seen, this is so we watched my very first Man on the Street, which was awkward as hell. This video is not even a year into the launch of my show, the launch of my channel. And I have been called into the conference room. This is February 19th, if I remember correctly, February 19th of 2021. And as you can see, I'm clearly in uniform here. Because people have actually accused me of lying about having been in the law enforcement world. I was a deputy at the time. I did work in a detention center. I was still a sworn deputy. I'm not lying. That's literally my title was detention deputy. I did work for the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office. I was employed there for nearly 13 years, which I kept to myself. I don't think Sarah even knew what I did for a living until pretty much the end of my career.
Yeah, it would have been right at the end.
Right at the end when I was
pretty much right at the end. Yeah.
And I never in my content did I ever mention this, but by the time this happened, I knew to record every single freaking conversation I was having, especially with somebody in a position of authority. And this happens on February 19th of 2021. Once again, folks, not even a year, not a full year of me doing a show about the irony of this, about government tyranny, about law enforcement tyranny, law enforcement cooperation in the COVID shutdowns and the lockdowns and the mask mandates. And yes, you do see me wearing a mask. And Sarah has heard me say this before. When you're on duty, when you're employed, if your employer looks at you and says you will wear a mask while you're working, you have two options.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, okay, I will follow your rule because you are my employer and you have a right to set standards for your employment.
Yep. It's all at will.
All at will.
Mm-hmm. All of it, both employer and employee. It's all at will.
And you can then choose to either comply with that or not comply. When I was on duty, I complied with what my employer expected of me. And that was when I was on duty in uniform, working inside of the detention center, I wore a mask. So when you see me with this mask somewhat on, this was my way of saying, I honor your standards. Yep. I agree to this because I am an employee in this moment.
Oops.
Oh, thanks, Skipper. I was told there would be Star Wars rumor chat. Yes, absolutely. I have breaking news right now. Sarah's going to love this because I know Sarah loves Star Wars. I have breaking news about Star Wars. Disney has decided to sell Star Wars back to Lucas Ranch. And because Lucas Ranch is buying it back, they're going to destroy the episodes 1, 2, and 3 and pretend that never happened. Thank God. And now they're also going to destroy all of the sequels that followed episodes 4, 5, and 6, because let's be honest, they destroyed Star Wars when they started adding crap to it. So there, that's the rumor. Thank you, Skipper, for that super chat about the rumor. Anyway, Georgie, I'm waiting for you to show up. So they call me into the office, and I knew that the handwriting was on the wall at this point. So as they call me into this conference room, my sergeant sends a deputy down to relieve me from my position of duty at that point. Hey, Sarge says he needs to see you. I'm like, oh, well, I already know where this is going. I log out of the computer system, literally log out of the computer system, grab my water bottle. tell the deputy, everything's in my log. Everything should be fine. The females are being very compliant today. Have a great day. I won't see you again today. I go to the sergeant's office. He says, hey, chief deputy says he needs to talk to us. And I said, oh, I'm not coming back, am I? And he goes, I don't know what's going on. And we walk out and we get into the conference room, and the chief deputy says, do you want to sit down? And I'm like, do I need my attorney?
Huh?
And he goes, no, I don't think you need your attorney or your association representative. I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, well, what I have here for you, as he's trying to ask me to sit down, what I have here for you is this disciplinary step notice. And I said, you're going to have to hold on in just a minute. I'm going to need to go get my camera. So I immediately stop, and he says, and I'm not joking, he goes, you do what you need to do, Todd. So I walk out, go to my locker. I had a cell phone that was active and one that I just used for recording things. And I walk back in and I set them up. And this is where you see, this is the full interchange that I had with the chief deputy. And I want you to listen very closely here. This is the closest you'll hear me to bragging about this situation. This guy is dumber than a box of rocks, and he had no idea who he was dealing with. I sound like
both your phones on? One is it?
Both. No, it's not my.
Oh, okay. I see your body camera.
Yeah. No, I don't want to put it on.
No, I understand. I was just asking.
Publish a visual. So are we referring to videos where I tell people that
I'm reading the disciplinary step notice right now, and I'm reading it back to him. And keep in mind that this has been coming for a year, because on right after Memorial Day weekend of 2020, right after the death of George Floyd, he had approached me and told me I needed to be careful with my content because people knew who I was and where I worked, and they could find me, and it could cause problems. And I asked him a series of questions about, and watch the whole playlist if you would. I had asked him this series of questions and demonstrated via the series of questions that I had not violated any Olmsted County Sheriff's Office policy and procedure ever. So they had no grounds to discipline me. And he refused to talk about it for a year, almost a year. And that's why we're sitting in this room now.
they are not needed?
Todd, I'm not gonna get an argument here. I'm asking you to read the letter and acknowledge it, okay? And if you don't want to, that's fine, and I will go make copies of it, okay?
He does not want to talk to me. He knows he's cooked.
Like I said, you can sign it, acknowledge it, and if you don't want to, you don't have to, that's fine.
Okay, so are we going back to the episode in June where you talked to me in Master Control and we're considering that a coaching?
That's when we were talking about.
Correct.
Yep.
You talked to me.
Yep.
And then I asked for follow-up.
Okay.
And I asked for written follow-up.
Okay.
And you said you didn't want to do written follow-up.
Very important. Very, very, very freaking important. I asked for written follow-up. He's acknowledged that this goes back to May of the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Year before. And I said, and I asked for written follow-up.
I don't want to do written follow-up because it's all, in my opinion, it's in policy.
This is very important. In my opinion, it is all in policy. Sarah, I know you've seen this, so bear with me. In my opinion, this is all in policy.
And so the expectation from this point forward is a disciplinary step notice.
That's just
reading policy.
Yep.
Okay.
reading and abiding by policy. That is my
Okay,
expectation,
but
just
I-
like it's the sheriff's expectation.
And I, there again, I understand
Yep,
that,
yep.
but this is an infringement.
Okay, what's an infringement? I'm sorry.
My actions outside of here,
Okay,
when I am not conducting myself in an illegal way,
okay,
as they pertain to constitutionally protected First Amendment rights in particular.
okay.
I'm assuming what you mean by abiding by those is no more of anything like this, or I can't speak my opinion.
I never said you couldn't speak your opinion.
So if I use a term like Nazi brown shirt to describe something, and somebody reports that or complains about it, that would then be considered a violation of policy.
Possibly, if you read the policy, and if you're abiding by policy, like it states in there.
And today's date is February 19th. It is
I was right. I remembered. Great. Trauma.
2:13 p.m.
Trauma is a great thing because you remember dates.
Down to the minute a lot of times.
And I am not overselling that, folks. This was a very traumatic moment. This was the beginning of the end, in the sense of the year before, right after George Floyd, when they approached me and he admitted that I hadn't violated policy, and then you heard him, like, he knows. I've got the email at this point. He knows, and he said, "Well, I believe policy was clear." That was bad enough. This is even worse. And so I'm not using trauma in the same way that someone that's experienced, being shot and, so like Rebecca, and who is a good friend of Sarah and I, she's a combat medic. She served in Iraq during the war. She lost a loved one there. Like, not that kind of trauma, but these moments like this, these are etched into your mind.
Yes.
This is the beginning of the end here, folks. I was a stellar freaking deputy. I did my job well, and I had a good reputation, especially with the people I was assigned to supervise. Trainees and
That's
detainees.
the key. Mm-hmm.
Trainees and detainees. Right now, I can count at least 6 deputies that I trained that are now in supervisory positions. You don't get that by being an asshat.
Yeah, I want records of everything that was recorded, and I want dates. And by signing, I understand the content of the document.
That's exactly what I said.
I
You're
am not
deciding that
acknowledging-
you
I'm not
acknowledge you're
acknowledging-
receiving it. You're not saying you
Acknowledging
agree
any
with it.
guilt or agreement.
That's what the signature's for. Yes, sir.
I'm signing to acknowledge that I've been given the paperwork and that I am not admitting that I have violated.
And for those of you that are asking, like, why do you keep saying this? Because I'm recording, folks. I'm recording, and I know that the video is probably not going to be great. And I know at this point, we're looking at a fight. And my attorney was like, "This was amazing." He said to me off the record, in the sense of, and I can't quote him directly, but he's like, "You manhandled him." And so, yeah, I sound like I'm being a little cocky right now, but sometimes we have to have a little bit of a party about how we're handling a situation. So,
Especially in that situation, you do have to assert yourself. Because there's nobody else that's going to do it for you in that situation. Just like you're talking about, do I need my union representative? I mean, you were your own advocate in that situation, so you had to stand firm. Especially in these situations, and make sure all your bases are covered. And if you're not coming at it from that fight mode, it's likely that something could slip, that you could forget, like you said, to repeat something, to be clear and to ask all the questions. You have to come from that fight mode.
Absolutely. And this is, and I know I talk about this on the channel a lot, Sarah, you've heard the story multiple times, but what I want people to understand is like having a channel, especially like doing what I do. You're not just sitting around just waiting for somebody to drop a story in your lap. There's so much more to what happens, what's going on in these moments. And you have to be thinking ahead of everyone. So, everybody likes to talk about, well, Trump's playing 4D chess. He's playing 5D chess. I think we're up to like 275D chess now with Trump and the decisions that he's making about various situations. Like, no, you have to literally be playing chess in these moments, not to manipulate, but to be ahead of your opponent. You absolutely have to be ahead of your opponent. And this is Chief Deputy Brian Howard from the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office, who is the Chief Deputy of Detention Services. This guy's a career-long law enforcement officer. We're not talking about a guy who just like kind of walked into the detention center and said, hey, I've only been doing this for 2 years, but this is my job now. We're talking about a guy who has been investigating murders. He's been involved in investigating other crimes. He's using his position, his authority, and his investigatory skills, such as they are, and you'll hear this at the end, to try and control me, to manipulate me, to shut me down.
The corner, probably, to get you into a position where you can't get out of almost.
Absolutely. And frankly, he and the sheriff got outplayed. And you'll hear this when we get to the end. There'll be a part where I'll skip over it because it's just me talking to my sergeant, who was, lack of better terminology, was ultimately innocent in the moment. He actually apologized to me later. And he's like, he goes, I had some of an idea, but I had no idea what it was really.
Any standing laws.
I was signing with ferocity. I was fierce.
You'll get a copy, Todd.
I know. I'm just
telling you.
This is huge for me, Brian.
I'll make copies. So for today, obviously you know how important to me safety and security is in there.
Such a magnanimous offer he's about to make me, by the way. He sounds so like, I just very much care about you. I just want you to know I care.
This is bothering me.
I'm being sarcastic. I
Yeah.
know. I'm being an ass, but this is so magnanimous.
You don't have to go back into work, okay? You can go home. Today is on me, all right? Because I want you in the right frame of mind. That's important. I want your safety and the safety of others. That is very key. So if you want to go home today, I am more than fine with that. I'll let you and Phil talk about that after I leave here. And the weekend, if you're not feeling like you want to come to work,
That'll be on me.
Right frame of mind, that's on you, okay?
Understood.
But I understand if you don't want to be here, and I want you in the right frame of mind, so your safety is okay along with your partners, okay?
I would never do anything to
I
jeopardize my
know you
team.
wouldn't, I just want, you're recording me, so I'm gonna make sure you're hearing what
No,
I
I know.
say, okay? I'll make
And
you copies of
please
it.
understand.
He doesn't like that. You hear that? You're recording me, so.
Yep.
Yeah, you darn right I'm recording you.
And it's not because I don't trust you.
No, I know.
I don't
just
trust-
want to make sure I'm being forward with you.
No,
Rebecca's here, but she's muted right now. Rebecca was.
I don't like having to pull people out like that. I told you in there, I said it's. Talk to you after we're off.
It's not you.
I'm not muted now. I'm just driving, so there's background noise.
Yeah. We're gonna finish watching this. So you is everybody okay? Anything broken or?
Nope, not broken. Just needs a brace. Yeah, he was at a skate park and went down a ramp on rollerblades and did not stick the landing.
It's always the skaters.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
here we go. We got better view now, folks. We're gonna see the chief deputy. Here we go.
Everything's there.
And the documentation of the actual complaint, I have a right to see that.
So I had asked for documentation of the actual complaint. Anybody want to guess where one of the complaints came from? It came from an internal social worker who had been watching my social media content and filed a formal complaint with the sheriff about my social media content. She didn't like the fact that I wasn't agreeing with the lockdowns. She was also the one who filed another complaint immediately after this moment today, on this day, on February 19th of 2021. Immediately after this, or right in the same time frame that they used to then put me under internal investigation.
It's almost like they look for stuff, right? It's almost kind of like they look
Government
for.
surveilling you, even especially if you work for them. Never. Sarah, thank you for opening the door for my sarcasm. All right, we'll finish this up.
Correct.
Yes, I'll get you stuff. Yes. Yep.
And how long would it take for that to?
It won't be today.
Why can't it be that day? That's why I was like, you had the documents, you knew what was going on. It's because he knew what was coming. He knew what was coming. Now the key in this is, remember what he said about me asking him about clarification about policy and procedure and yada yada yada, and then his response was, because in my opinion, policy and procedure is clear. This is where you need to pay attention, folks. This is why you never trust the word of any single person who's wearing a badge or a uniform, because you can see it very clearly. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm circling the cursor around it right here. What's this shirt say? Sheriff. If they're going to do this to one of their own, what will they do to you?
Yeah.
So when you back to work on Wednesday, right?
Well, I mean, provided I'm.
Yeah. But
I think I probably will. I think I probably will take the remainder of the day. Not just because you told me it's on you. That's
no.
I'm a little.
I expected that. That's why I made the offer that I did. Okay.
I would, if at all possible, if it's easier to do a PDF and send it to me, I can print it out and take it, or send it to myself at home.
Okay.
I would be okay with that, but I would like that ASAP.
I will get it to you as soon as I
before the end of the weekend, if that would be.
It won't be by the end of the weekend, I can tell you that. That I cannot do. I have someplace I was supposed to be 20 minutes ago that I'm not at, and I have to take care of that first.
I don't know. Maybe if you hadn't been a lackey for the sheriff, you could have been to the thing you were supposed to be doing anyway, because this was stupid.
But I will get it to you as soon as possible.
How about growing a pair of balls and saying no?
Is there a chance that after I've had time to process this and talk this through with some trusted counsel, that we'd be able to sit back down and figure out what it looks like,
Yeah,
because
that's possible.
My activity as far as my channel and whatnot.
Okay.
I want to be compliant to a lawful authority in the sheriff as my employer, without taking needless risks, without also being completely and utterly, without being completely, totally, and utterly like at a loss as to what's going to get me in trouble.
I mean, I do think our policy is pretty clear, but it's open for debate, I guess. And
Did you catch that?
I guess.
at the beginning of the video, what did he say, Sarah? Like, in my opinion, policy is
clear.
What did he say here? like this is mind blowing. Rebecca, you were in the military. Does this
sounds kind of par for the course, almost.
Rebecca, you're driving. We can't.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Is this not just typical like of leadership, even in the military?
Bad leadership, yes.
Yeah, well, like I said, leadership.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible human being.
You can always tell who the bad ones are because nothing is ever their fault.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play that again because it's just so. Here, listen to him very close. Remember, at the beginning of the video, he said, "In my opinion, policy is clear," so he didn't want to talk to me about it, which makes no sense when you have a deputy asking questions about policy. You would think you'd want to clarify for your own good, right? For your own good.
Well, but that's part of like not taking responsibility is him being like, well, the policy says, like hiding behind that.
Yes.
It's funny if you guys can see it. Do you see that bottle of hand sanitizer on the table?
Yeah.
I can smell that still.
Yeah. It's interesting when in those moments what you pick up.
I can still smell that and
Yeah.
remember the tactile reality of it on my skin. All right, we're gonna let Chief Deputy sink himself here.
I do think our policy is pretty clear, but it's open for debate, I guess. And let me talk to someone, and we can, because you're a smart guy, Todd, right? I appreciate.
Don't kiss my ass. That's what it is. You're a smart guy. Really? Am I smart? Because you're sitting here trying to shut me up, and you by attacking my First Amendmently. Do not drink rum and coke while you're doing your celebratory streams. By the way, folks, because you lose your words.
If I'd have known it was that kind of stream, I would have gotten out my bourbon.
When we started, what did you think this was when we started?
Hold on.
Not you, Rebecca. You're driving.
Yeah, I'm driving.
We keep it by the desk for a reason.
Well, pour a shot, babe. But I mean, I hate this. By the way, if you're ever in a position of authority over someone in the sense of you're in an employment role, don't tell the person that you're chewing out, that you're disciplining, that you're threatening their career. You're a smart guy. If you thought I was smart, we wouldn't be sitting here.
It's super condescending. That's just like peak talking down to somebody to make them be like, no, why don't you get this? You're obviously intelligent. Why don't you understand? Just
oh, gives me heebie-jeebies. Reminds me of my ex-husband who's talking like that. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry.
I wanted to have fun with this part. I really did, because otherwise I'd just be thinking about it and just dwelling on it in a negative way. So thank you for having fun with this for me. All right, here we're gonna let him say it again, because no one can hear that someone thinks they're smart enough. I mean, that's just
We talk to someone, and we can, because you're a smart guy, Todd, right? There's so many different variables.
That doesn't make me feel smart right now.
There's so many different variables that we could what if. I mean, you know that as well as I do. You can what if things to death. But let me talk to someone, and yes, I will.
Because now I have other content now that's like out there prior to today. Like, I will let you know as soon as I can. But it will not be by the end of the weekend, I can tell you that. But I will get back to you as soon as I can next week. And your contact stuff, I'm assuming, is up to date and personnel file and stuff. I think you have my phone number too. If it's not in the file, I think it is. I mean, I just don't. Yeah.
I don't know everybody's phone number off the top of my head, I guess is what I'm saying. So my assumption is, knowing how Phil does business, everything is
I don't
up to date.
remember most of my family phone numbers.
Exactly. But I will contact you as soon as I can. Okay? All right. Any questions? Anything else, guys?
Yeah, why are you a spineless
Take
coward?
care of what you take care of, and I will see you guys.
Yeah, I have a question. Why are you a spineless coward? Why, I
But,
mean,
you
that's
know, I've been watching a lot of like cop videos lately of, you know, people like First Amendment, you know, like they record it and everything. And, you know, it's just, this is very kind of goes in line with all of those others, you know, they hide behind a badge. They know they're wrong, but they want to try and make you feel like that you're stupid and small while they just steamroll you, even though you know you're right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. And that's ultimately what this came down to, because a week following this, when I had asked for this clarification that I was asking for, because at this point, and this is not me like talking about how wonderful and smart and great and super I am, but I was getting, at this point, I was still a darling of the MAGA movement because they all thought I was MAGA. And anybody who's known me from the beginning has never heard me say I'm MAGA ever. I guarantee you, like just you two alone will attest to the fact that I've never once said I was MAGA. You know, you just haven't heard me say that. But the MAGA movement thought I was on their side because I was opposing lockdowns. I was opposing mask, mandates and whatnot. So they did that forced teaming, that thing that gets done in the cluster B personality disorder reality where narcissists lump everybody into, you're either for me or you're against me. And MAGA does that. And the left does it too. Like, there's no argument for me. The left does this too. Like, if you take their side, so like all three of us are all very much anti-intervention, globalist imperialist war. So the left immediately assumes you agree with them on every other freaking issue that there is. Like, oh, so you're all for like universal basic income. What? No. That's not the case. You must love Kamala. Like, kind of like I love cancer. I want it to go away. I'm glad for the fight because it made me stronger, but no, I did not like it, and that's the truth of this, is that like in these moments, like in moments like this, you're dealing with people that think in such strange, stringent binaries that you just can't imagine, like, the person that you're standing next to who's agreeing with you on this issue isn't worthy of being invited to go speak at their campaign event. And I was getting asked to go speak at campaign events for the GOP, like the GOP, like gubernatorial candidates, senatorial candidates, members of the House of Representatives. Would you want to come and speak at my event? And sure. I'm like, why? And then I told him, like, I'm being asked, like, you guys, do you know what you're doing here? You got candidates that you would probably vote for are asking me to come and take part in their event. Am I allowed to do that?
I think it's interesting when you really get down to it, especially if you think about the libertarian ideology, or, you become more liberal than the so-called liberals. You be a true liberal versus left, right? And if you're thinking conservative, you're almost more, in a way, sometimes more conservative, more Tea Party, if you will, than these MAGA and the conservatives are. And so you're too this for that, you're too right for the right and too left for the left, when you're really in the middle the whole time.
Yeah, you become your own version of Thomas Massey.
I hope to be.
Well, no, but I mean, what you're describing is you become your own version of Thomas Massey, where like both sides will claim you and hate you at the same time.
Right.
And that's what was happening even in this moment, like as we're leading up, to the elections in 2022. Like, I had people like that were courting me because I had the right position on lockdowns. I had the right position on mask mandates. I had the right position on government overreach. As long as I understood my place in calling it out as it was being used against the mega movement. Because this is just post that day in January that happened to be on the 6th day of the year of 2021. And all of this stemmed from, and this is not blaming her, but all of this ultimately ended up, when it came out in the wash, came from, and everybody knows her, from me working hand in hand to expose the chief of police and the city attorney of Albert Lee, Minnesota, as they persecuted Lisa Hansen, who I was then, almost a year after this, summoned by the government, by the state, to testify against Lisa in their attack on her, and told that while I was testifying, I was not allowed to even say the word Constitution, or I could be held in contempt and go to jail.
That should burn everybody. Because if there's one thing that our judges and that we as a society should adhere to, to the best of without it should be the Constitution. That should be the word that we stand on in that space.
Yeah, but the reality is that there's two separate laws. There's a set of laws for us and there's a set of laws for them.
Right.
And until people get mad enough, that's not going to change. And people aren't mad enough.
Well, right. And if you go and read my essay from today commemorating this, what happened and what's been going on since I started this movement, and for myself, none of them, the mega movement in particular, but in general, the Republicans don't care about tyranny if they're the ones in power, and the Democrats don't care about tyranny if they're the ones in power. They will gladly use any power, and that's one of the reasons why I played that video at the open, and some of you didn't have a chance to see it, but I'm having a conversation with a guy on my very first day of doing this, who's a veteran, and I say to him, the thing that I closed with, when you go back and watch, the thing that I didn't close with it, but I ended and went into the stream, the full stream, I ended with, once you allow government to take power from you that they are not allowed to have, they're never going to give it up. They're never going to give it up.
Yeah.
And that's what I wish. All the things that I've been doing for the last 6 years, I'm gonna, Rebecca, I don't even remember how you and I met. I mean,
I do.
Oh, geez.
It was when the Republicans
I remember.
The Republicans accused me of being a drug addict.
Oh yeah. And that's what I reached out to you.
That's what they do to people that don't completely fall in line with their agenda.
Right. I remember that now. Yeah. Because you're right.
Not just accusations, but they wrote it, they printed it, they publicly distributed it.
Because you're running for school board.
Because I wanted to run for school board.
That's what I was going to ask. What were you running for? Okay.
Yeah, she was running for school board, and I saw that it had popped up, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what? Because me, I'm going to ask. I'm not going to probe, and I'm going to, I'm not, every single accusation that gets made, I don't necessarily believe. When somebody says somebody did something, I don't believe every single word that person says. Right. And so, when I'm covering a story now, I ask questions. Ask Blake Mosted's family the number of questions that I ask. Yeah. I'm covering this Jamie Lucas story. And the guy disappears on July 3rd of 2020. The last person to see him alive is a deputy. You don't think I'm going to ask questions about that? But I'm not going to just ask questions about that from the perspective of the law enforcement angle. I'm going to say, let's find out the truth about Jamie and his family. Let's see, what's going on here. And you ask and you clarify. I remember that now. That's what caused me to connect with Rebecca. And the next thing I know, Rebecca is having a lapse in judgment, proving that she's a drug addict. and asking me, would you like to MC an event? And no, that was Bull that was Bull that asked me the first time. So, and then Sarah
for
was
the record, I have never smoked a joint in my life, even though that's kind of like you have plenty of opportunity,
right.
especially as an LP.
I will drink the heck out of a stigma, but I will not roll a joint. But yeah, this. I mean, in the irony of this is so I started this platform 6 years ago today, and a year and 5 days later. Just this is how your government operates, folks. These are the people you love, Republicans and Democrats. Your two-party system, two wings on the same bird. This is how your system operates. A year and 5 days later, April 30th, after 60 days of internal investigation that started 5 days after this, February 24th of 2021. They investigated me for 60 days. They finished that investigation. And on April 30th, as I walked into work, as I went to go hit the time clock and go start my shift on that Friday freaking night, the chief deputy has my sergeant intercept me on April 30th and walks me into the conference room to announce to me that I am being placed on administrative leave with intent to terminate. I want you to go and watch. If you don't believe any of this, if you think I'm some sort of radical, if you think I'm some sort of anti-government freak, you might be right on that part. But if you want to try and discredit me and say that I brought it on myself by violating policy and procedure, I want you to watch all of my content from April 25th. Of 2020 until November, the middle of November of 2021, because not a single freaking video or any of my content ever talks about what I was going through. Even when I was driving to places like Albert Lee and Owatonna and Mankato, did I ever mention my work?
That's right.
I never mentioned. I didn't even tell these people that I was on administrative leave. I just showed up and did the things I did.
We didn't know. Your audience wouldn't have known. No.
Not a word.
Yep. I could tell by the confidence and a little bit of the swagger. I'm like, he's served. Just by the and again, I hate to say it like that, but the whole
it's the white guy
putting
thing.
in order, kind of keeping us in order. White guy keeping us in
white guy
keeping us in order.
Got to keep the women and the minorities in order. That's what we do.
Yeah, no. But I could tell by coming in there and being able to really help direct, the herd of cats that we were. You were helping,
like
and
taking
you
guys
charge.
Were all over you guys were all over.
You were taking charge, being ready and willing to take charge. The posturing that you had, and I was like, he served, and he's willing to serve. When someone is willing to step up, like you can tell Rebecca served because she's willing to step into something and serve something greater than herself. You can tell that you served.
In Rebecca's case, and because I know she's going to have some smart aleck comment to make when I say this, I believe Rebecca just takes that punishment on herself as a result of her TBI. But that's it.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Tell me that's not fair. Tell me that's not fair. Tell me that's.
Maybe the TBI was a result of taking things on already. I'm just saying that you could. How far do you want to go? That's circular.
I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just saying back.
Well, I've been at this for almost 2.5 hours, Sarah. You've been here for a long time. Rebecca, you've had a lot going on, and
well,
I just wanted. Seriously, the invites that I sent out for this were invites to people that I considered, and I could have sent out a lot more and a lot of people responded, I wish that I could be there. I got things going on. And I'm like, oh, you have more important things in your life than me? Are you kidding me? I'm like,
I could be painting and scraping my house right now, but I've actually got a few folks out there doing it.
I could be having my teeth pulled. I mean, that just sounds like I could have just scheduled that in.
I told them I had a special podcast to be on, and they're like, okay, do that, because they're like, you're dressed, go do that. That's important too.
You were, yeah. When you said special, they thought like important, not retarded.
Oh, they have heard your podcast going in the kitchen or wherever I'm at. My whole family's heard it, so they already know.
She's listening again. Oh Lord.
Yep, they already know. Yep, it comes on and I'm tuning in, so they know. Mm-hmm.
Well, you two have been at different at different points and at different times. You two have been incredibly dear and close to me, and very important to the show. And that's why you guys got the invites, and other people got invites. I couldn't send out, and I didn't have a room for every single person that's been important, but I sent out a ton of invites, and it was open to a lot of people. And so I'm very thankful to everyone who's watched and tuned in. And Sarah, I think what you should do now is you should probably change clothes and go make some white girl tacos for your.
Oh, no. I'm actually making steaks for everyone tonight. So.
Wow, no.
Yep. I made a Mexican girl breakfast for them this morning. So I made breakfast tortas this morning. So
now, see, this is what I love about you, because you are so quintessential. You're so quintessential Mexican, because when you get to it, you're like, and
the torta.
Yeah, absolutely no hint other than we can see your face. No hint of your Hispanic nature, and then you get to the breakfast torta, and
torta. You can't just say. I feel like it's weird to say torta or saying like tortilla.
Would
you have to say tortilla. Like you can't.
Torta. Which only works for you because you're Hispanic. If a white girl said it,
but I'm in the Midwest. Yeah, I get to be on both. My actual name is Sarah Ann, so I get to be Sarah Ann and the Sanchez part. So that's the best part.
Which is, like, because Rebecca is a Southerner by birth and nature. Mm-hmm. Every food that she makes is Southern food.
It doesn't leave. It doesn't get out of your system, does it?
I don't make hot dish. That is it. That's where I draw the line.
I do. I don't. My kids love them some hot dish. So. But
I just call it a casserole and we're good.
There you go.
There's a difference between a hot dish and a casserole.
But on a quick note before you jump off, and I'm glad that Rebecca's on too. In an homage to, or just out of a gratitude, and a bit of an example. I would always say like in a good, not peer pressure way. I don't even know what the word is, but when you see folks doing things and you're around those folks and you listen to those folks, and those are the ones that are in your ear, they do, like you're talking about with Skipper, they challenge you. They challenge you to have open eyes, open minds, open hearts. And you guys both in very, very, very big ways have really challenged me. And I wanted to, out of respect for or thankfulness, gratitude for you and all the work that you've been doing, TC's last 6 years, and that I've seen you do, that I've witnessed you going all around this state to do. Rebecca, the same. She goes everywhere, going out of her way with a huge family and responsibilities on her back, and still goes out there to try and do something. You both did it, and a cost comes along with it. So out of that gratitude, and out of that mindset, the examples that you've set for me, I wanted to take a quick second and thank you guys both. But because of your example, I've actually formally put my name in the hat for city council here in Owatonna. So I just want to say
We're
thank
going to get a libertarian elected in this state one way or another.
So, but city council, it's you're taking all the, it's almost like Charlie running. You want to get things, you want to get the party out of, and do what is right by your people, by your community, by your neighbors. This would be for my ward, right, for Ward 3, but you want to do what's right, and you want to protect your town. You want to actually do something. And I was thinking, do I have time for this? Am I able to? Would I do this right? And all these things. But then I see you, TC, and I think of you kept running at it. You kept doing it, and you kept digging, and you kept digging, and it cost, and it hurt, and it was tears, and it was blood, and it was sweat, and it was all the things all the time stirring in your brain and in your soul, and you still freaking did it. Same thing with Rebecca. Like, I thought about, am I going to be able to be a good mom and do this? And I thought, well, duh, Rebecca, and
What are you talking about?
see,
Rebecca runs for office to get a break.
and I'm thinking, am I? And then even and Michael said it too. She's like, well, how's Rebecca do it? And I'm like, that's a really good question. That is that, so when you have folks such as yourselves, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I honestly think it is a privilege. I think it is a wonderful privilege to be able to tune in and share some time and space with you guys, and be able to have that. That's the stuff I need, in my brain. I don't, all the other garbage, all the stuff that you're going to feed yourself almost, about not being able to do something, about what's going on. Getting outside of that, getting outside of people who are going to just be an echo chamber within themselves in their own little whirlwinds, and having people who will challenge, even within our own group, within our own, in our own one-on-one conversations. You need that, and I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful that you do hold us to that standard, and you hold us to. That's why I said, the people who listen to you, TC, they are intellectual. They're wanting to be challenged. They're wanting to hear something else. They're wanting to dig deeper, and that's why I was so afraid to come on here. Because I am a mom. I'm just I'm not just a mom, but I am a small town mom. And she just likes to talk with people and gab, but I give a crap. I give a lot. And so seeing you guys put that out there like that really gives me a lot to go from too. So thank you guys.
You made this decision because you knew it was the right thing to do. It had, as much as I appreciate you giving me credit, you did this because that's who you are. And I really, I love and respect you, and you know that. And now that I know that you have officially announced,
yeah, there you go. That's your.
You've officially. We're gonna just do one more time.
Thanks.
I know. Could you hear the applause?
Yep.
I don't like soundboards most of the time, but very, very thankful for that, and we will get you back on before the election. Well, maybe not. Maybe we want you to win. Yeah, so we want you to win. But thank you for being here today. Thanks for being consistent throughout all of this, and I know you got to go so you can make steaks. I know Rebecca's going to have something to say, and then after you two finish off what you want to say, I'm gonna close the show before I get too emotional.
Well, I just pulled into the driveway and stopped, so turn the car off. We have a hole in our exhaust, so it's really loud. So I'm sorry if I made a ruckus. But
nothing less than a ruckus from you.
I gotta keep it consistent. I just gonna, kind of piggyback off of what Sarah was saying, is that, there are times when what we are doing is is going to challenge who we are, what we believe about, how we see the world, how we see ourselves, how we see ourselves in the world. You know, like it's just, and it's always because what we are doing is counterculture. And so there's a lot of education that has to go along with, you know, what our mission is, because people aren't going to be accustomed to the type of message that we bring them. People like us, people like you. And I appreciate your platform and, you know, how often you're just always throwing yourself out there. And,
I am the
you know,
honey
that's, yeah, that's, I mean, this is what it takes, is that, you know, we just kind of come together, and that on the days where you know, you need to take a step back because, you know, there's a lot to shoulder and a lot of different things are coming. That's why I tell people, you know, it's like, they're like, I just got to take a step back. I'm like, dude, that is fine. That's okay. Because take it, you know, refresh yourself and come back stronger. There's nothing wrong with a strategic retreat. Nothing wrong with that at all. Because you know that whatever is that's next, you got to, you know, pull back together, kind of reprocess, adapt to what's happening around you because it changes, you know, and then come back. And oftentimes with a strategic retreat, you come back and you hit it from a different angle. And you know, and it'll work out. I believe that what we are doing is right, not just like factually correct or objectively correct, but morally correct. And that, you know, when you're basing off of your doing off of something as solid in its foundation as truth, then what is somebody going to say to stop you? You know, like, we know that the path that we are on is the one that has to be taken by somebody. And the way I see it is that if you see it for what it is, you know, you have a responsibility of addressing it, not just ignoring it and asking somebody else to handle it when we're perfectly capable of doing it. And yeah, you know, I mean, we all got things going on the side that are trying to trip us up. We all do. And those things aren't going to stop the more we get into this. In fact, I would say the further we get on, the more successful, the more those things that are trying to trip us up are going to happen.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, these friendships,
stand in the way.
Yeah, these friendships, the people that we have, you know, around us, that's what I try to surround myself by, people that aren't just gonna like pay me lip service, or aren't just gonna like argue for just argument's sake. I hate that. But you know, people that just like,
no, you don't.
Actually, I do. I really like online, or like, you know, like
I totally sidetracked you.
Yeah. You know, but like this is the kind of, you know, we need our friendships. And I often think about like, you know, the libertarianism and what we're doing, in regards to kind of this, similar to what was going on in the army when I was in there. And this is probably a bad, you know, bad parallel, but in a lot of ways, the trauma bonding is the same. You know?
100%.
Well, this is very encouraging. Yep. It's true, though.
What a
So
wonderful
true.
thanks for such a wonderful note. The trauma bonding of being, you know,
I don't know what else to call it.
military law enforcement and libertarianism. The trauma bonding is real. It's
but we have a mission that we have to do, and eventually, at some point, for all of us, we're gonna all sit back and be like, this is too hard. I can't do this. I'm not the right person. You know, we all have those thoughts. I do. I definitely do. But what keeps you going isn't that you believe in yourself. It's because you recognize your responsibility of protecting the people to the right and the left of you. That's what keeps you moving forward.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Especially when they don't recognize that they need the protection.
Right. And they don't need to. No, but that's what a friendship is. A friendship is recognizing that your friends, their needs, maybe even before they even recognize their own needs, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what this is.
Absolutely. You two go enjoy your evenings. I'm gonna close this up, and like I said, I'll probably get emotional, but I'll close
Rebecca
this up.
already made me emotional, so
sorry.
It's good. No, it's good. That's why you're such a leader. So thank you. Thank
Yes,
you, TC. Thank you,
everybody
Rebecca.
wants their leader to make them cry before they enter battle.
I think of like Braveheart, you know, like I'm just next time we go to like a convention or something, I'm just gonna paint my face blue and be like, freedom.
No, we'll probably just reject you and think that you become a full-blown leftist Democrat at that point. So
She said blue face, not blue hair.
at this point, does it even matter anymore? I mean, does it? All right.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you both so much for being such a huge part of not just the platform in the multiple and varied ways that you have been, but being a huge part of my friend circle.
Anytime.
And
Anytime,
it means a lot to me. So
you're a blessing to us too.
Go before I make a fool of myself.
All right. Thank you, guys. God
Love you
bless you
guys.
both.
See you later.
Yeah, there's not a lot that I can say, but I am doing something, and this is going to be going forward. I am going to be adding all of my channel members to my end feed. But the first thing that I'm going to do here, before I go through all of my channel members on the anniversary of the show, is I want to give a big shout out to my volunteer researcher, Natalie, who has done a massive amount of work for you guys. She does it for me, but she's doing it for you. She's doing it for the consistent viewers and the channel members. Natalie does so much. When I find the dirt that I find and I'm like, hey, I need you to dig into this, Natalie does it. Natalie's the one that's doing that work behind the scenes, because I just don't have the time. And I don't know how she has the time, but she does it and she makes it work. And she checks and rechecks and double checks or recheck and rechecks or double check. And she makes it work and she makes it matter. And so it's a big shout out to Natalie, who is working overtime right now on the Jamie Lucas story. We are digging into hundreds of different directions and angles on Jamie Lucas. And so please pay attention to the Jamie Lucas story. And also please pay attention. We've got more stuff coming out for the Blake Mosted story and others that I've been working on. I cannot do what I do without Natalie. And I want her and everyone else to know that and recognize that. Natalie is ostensibly, for everything that she's done, she is the show producer for what she's done. For all of my channel members, whether it's McDog or Online 9 GamerX, LP612, Brittany Kiefer, Grampy Guy, Skipper, who you guys all got to meet, Ozzy Crosby. Oh, Sarah just became a channel member again. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you. Ozzy Crosby, Phoenix Risen, one Phoenix Risen. I'm going to be telling her and her family story here very, very soon. It is an absolute travesty of justice. Rick Houski or Hausk, Jugalassis was in the chat earlier. Jugs has been here from pretty much day one. AVA Kahanu, Veterans Affair, one of my deepest and closest friends. Lori Nant, 2361, Auntie Social, you know who you are, and Tanker Man, you know who you are as well. To my channel members, thank you so very, very, very much for being here from the get. I have I've lost a lot of people who said they were always going to be my friends. And I'm not going to rehash that here. So please go and watch or read my essay. I'll put the link in the description. And I did put the link in my community notes page here for YouTube especially. But people that I thought were friends have abandoned me. But I have a consistent group of people that are here on a regular basis and willing to stand beside me and fight. I don't know what's coming, to be honest with you. I'm holding on right now with the tips of my fingers barely dug in. Somebody that I talked to on a regular basis suggested, hey, why don't you start a Give, Send, Go or a GoFundMe to help you with at least saving the house? I don't know. Maybe I will. When I started this, I thought I was, on my way to building a legacy for my family and for my kids and my grandkids, and that I was going to leave them a retirement and a place that they could call their forever home. And I don't know that that's true. It's pretty much you're in a position these days where you are beholden to whatever the state decides. And the old adage, I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and I went out with my head held high, but the sheriff still got what he wanted. He's done everything he can. And maybe he didn't take my dignity. Maybe he didn't take my ethics or my morality, but he did ostensibly get what he wanted and destroyed me on a financial level. So when I talk about all the work that Natalie has done, when I talk about what the channel members do, when I talk about what the people who send super chats do, what you guys do not understand is just how much of an impact that has. It literally helps me keep the electricity going. It helps me keep the internet going. Because most days, the only thing that keeps me here is my family. Other than that, there are days where I don't know what I have left to fight for. And today has been an encouragement. So I thank you all for being consistent, and I thank you all for being here, and I thank you all for everything that you have done for me over time. And so until the next time, my friends, my loved ones, fight for your freedom, it is yours. Fight for your liberty, it belongs to you. Thank you for 6 almost impossible to believe years. 6 Semper Tyrannis.
We are going for liftoff in T-minus 30. Stand by for further instructions, Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. Secondary guidance systems engaged. Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, it will be on my mark. Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, you are over the target. You are authorized to fire at